Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, we're going to be talking about the man, Nicol Bolas. The ancient evil has returned, and the God Pharaoh has returned, rather, and may we be deemed worthy. Hard to believe that I actually did not have a Nicol Bolas EDH deck built until like 2 weeks ago. So I built it and played with it a couple of times, really like it, because it took me now, I've played with Nicol Bolas for years, and here's a part that a lot of people miss. Hell, I missed it. His second, or last ability there, whenever Nicol Bolas deals damage to an opponent, that player discards his or her hand. I have been missing something for 20 years with this guy. Played with original Legends versions of him way back when. Don't still have it. I kind of like From the Vault art because it's kind of fits more in with the modern Bolas look. But anyway, here's the part I missed. The word combat is not in there anywhere. How I played for years is like, well, I got to give it trample, and that way it doesn't matter what they block with. I can eke over, like maybe a Luxodon Warhammer, so he's a 10-7, and with trample, and can... No, you don't have to deal combat damage with him. He just has to deal damage. So the first thing that I went to was plinking. So I've got 4 plinkers, luckily enough. They were printed in Bolas colors. We have Hermetic Study and Power of Fire. Because, let's see, we also have the Longbow and the Staff. Now, it does seem kind of to have your 8-mana general out there and you just tap it to deal 1 damage, but there are times when you just need to nuke their hand. And so my train of thought, it plays pretty well, but I don't know. There's a lot of room for improvement as I get more cards. Obviously, with them discarding, I'm going to have a Megrim, a Liliana's Caress, and the Waste Knot. Now, cards that are thematically Bolas, I did put into the deck. I do have the Bolas Walker, Bolas the Deceiver, and the God Pharaoh. Also cards, like I said, cards that were definitively Bolas. The Slave of Bolas, the Cruel Ultimatum, Dark Intimations, the cards that are just absolute. And I even went so far as to use the Grixis Charm because, let's face it, he was the Grixis Walker back in Conflux. But creature-wise, I only have 4 creatures in the deck besides him. I have Avatar, Prince of Thralls. Wow. I love Prince of Thralls. Some part of me would love this ability on a legendary creature. Hell, it may be on a creature, but I can't think of any. Rexel, because the 2 most popular basic lands, hey, why not? And we're making them discard, so we'll be able to have more options to play from their yard. So it works for me. And then Croesus to that way you can actually know who to hit on. Now, as noted, Bolas is not cheap, and he's 8 mana, and you got to pay 3 just to keep him around. So I've got a plethora of mana ramp. We're just gonna roll through it here. The Chromatic Lantern. I would like to have a Chromatic Lantern in all my 3+ color decks, but it just doesn't happen because, I just don't have infinite Chromatic Lanterns or the Gilded Lotus. But a lot of the Signets, here again, the Visage of Bolas, yeah, it does kind of help tutor the bad Bolas Walker, but, it is a mana rock that doesn't come into play tapped. So, it's 4 mana. It's kind of not optimal, but a lot of these try to focus on the any color stuff, and the just to. Now, that's a lot of artifact ramp, and I get that. However, I was like, well, artifact ramp. And of course, the Mirage Mirror is whatever you need it to be. If you need it to be another copy of Megrim or Waste Not or whatever, or it's just another copy of your Gilded Lotus, but because of all the amount of mana rocks, I was like, well, it seems like an unwinding clock is a good thing to do. Also note that Basalt Monolith, the clock kind of breaks as your 3-drop and then your 4-drop. Now, and y'all know me, I put the unwinding clock, so I'm gonna have the planar bridge just to get there, and maybe I can tutor out my Rexel and to get the win that way. Don't know. Now we do have a lot of removal. Radiant Flames. Now, Rags to Riches, I really like it. Both sides. I mean, we have Sweltering Suns. Evacuation, I count Evacuation as a mass removal simply because it does, empty the board pretty much. And it just obliterates tokens. So that's a beautiful thing. Terminate for the nasty spot removal. Crux, of course Crux was in here because, it's Bolas. I'm surprised that Crux wasn't, was Crux a masterpiece or an invocation? If not, it should have been. I realize it was pretty recent, but still. Wildfire, there again, we got a lot of artifacts, so hey, we might as well be nuking some lands as well. Bantu's Last Reckoning is a card that doesn't see a lot of play in EDH, and I will admit that there's it's a non-0% of reason why it's in there is I just happen to have a foil. Now, yeah, I'm a squirrel. I love the shinies, but not a squirrel, a raccoon. Raccoons love shiny things because from the movie where the red fern grows and the tops. Different story, different movie, whatever. But anyway, it's 3 mana. Yeah, your lands don't untap, but there are times in our format where you need the ability to be able to do it on turn 3 or with 3 mana left. I mean, this ability is it's at that price. It's very, very anti-aggro. It's I like it. Extinguish All Hope is, expensive damnation. Ether Flash. Love me some Ether Flash. There's so many decks. Ether Flash just shuts down. Hour of Glory. Now, the rest of this is, utility, I guess is what we're going to call it. Because we got our Tutors and the Diabolic and the Fabricate. Now, with our little discard enchantments, Windfall seems to fit the bill. The Animate Dead's going to get back one of their creatures they had to discard. Oh, look, we have the Portal Wildfire. We have a Bounce and Discard, which also triggers the cool discard stuff. Beacon of Unrest is going to bring their dead stuff back to life. Cut to Ribbons. Now, Cut to Ribbons is both removal and win con at the same time. I love me some Cut to Ribbons. You just flame one guy and then late game, once it's forgotten about, you just go nuclear with X. Swiftfoot Boots, and to a lesser extent, Whisper Silk Cloak, they're more in there for the other 4 creatures than for Bolas, but, hey, if you get it, you get it. Inundate here, it leaves Bolas, it leaves Rexel, it leaves Prince of Thralls, so this is not bad, and quite frankly, in my local meta, Mono blue is not really a big thing. I think I probably have mostly the majority of the mono blue decks, but Torment of Hell, or Pull from Tomorrow. So we'll get to the other card here in a minute. Pull from Tomorrow is the card we've been waiting on our whole life. It is amazing. It is brain geyser at instant speed. I give no shits. I have to discard a card. This is beautiful. Love it. I cannot get enough copies of Pull from Tomorrow. We have Tainted Remedy. I don't really have an explanation for it. This is probably an open slot. And then the coup de grace. Actually, the first time this deck was built, my brother played it. He didn't get a chance to play a lot, and we were playing with Mom and my sons, and it was late game, and he rips this off the top of his library, and he reads it, and his eyes just go wide, and he's like, I just won. And I think he dumped something dumb like 28 mana into X. Yeah, that's hard to come back from in the late game where there's already been some battle damage, Anyway, Torment of Hailfire, this is the real deal. That is pretty much what I've got besides lands. It's pretty much the 3-color lands that you would expect. Of course, I've got to have my Rogue's Passage. But I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. Like I said, this is first draft of Nicol Bolas. It's the time my brother played it, and then twice I've played it. I haven't seen a lot of the cards, but I have gotten the planking interaction out. Both games I played it, he just won through straight attrition and board wiping, and he Rexled us, I think, to get down to where he drew the Torment, and it was OV. But anyway, that's what I've got for Nicol Bolas. I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But right now, I think we're going to shuffle and cut.